Men who have been proposed to by their girlfriends. How did you feel about it? Pretty good about it, I guess, because I said yes. Even better now, because 20 years or so later I get to say, hey, this was your idea. I made all the first moves with my boyfriend, and whenever I express any sort of exasperation with him, he loves to play the "this was your idea" card. It was humbling. She had a learning disability and wrote, and then read out loud her proposal. She was terrified of blowing it, and it was the most important moment in her life. We were both in our 40s, and I was blown away, because after being with her for 7 years, I didn't know how important it was to her. We are in our 60s now. Still humbled. So I was the girlfriend. He glowed for days afterward, looked up the statistics, and glowed some more. He didn't care that it's typically the guy's job to do the asking. He was too busy being overwhelmed by the fact that I love him enough to ask. This is beautiful. Gender roles don't just hurt women, they also take away opportunities for men to feel, or admit they want to feel, what women are allowed to supposed to feel. Such as excitement that someone in this world loves you. Okay, so a few weeks after we met, we were taking a shower together, and she corners me and says, so are we dating? Are you okay with us dating? It's okay if you say no. Will you go be my boyfriend? Of course, being the absolute specimen of a gentleman that I might say, well, you caught me with my butthole out. I can't say no. Fast forward 4 years. We are camping. The nearest town is 60 miles away. The car is a few miles away. It's cold, and I'm changing clothes. I'm butt naked in the tent. She says, so baby, I've been thinking. I say, oh lord, let me at least put my pants on. She says, could you see yourself marrying me? Have you thought about it before? Will you marry me? I said, well, you caught me with my butthole out. I can't say no. She thought that was hilarious. Then we had a good long chat about it. On track for getting married in April. I think it's pretty cool that she did it both times. Definitely made my life easier, and I'm sure I'm underappreciating the clarity. Edit lol, I can't wait to read all the comments. I read a few so far. I look forward to the laughs. Can't wait to show my fiancée. She's gonna be embarrassed. I can't wait. Woohoo, one I can answer. I was ecstatic to be engaged to her. I was planning on acking her in 6 months time too. So it worked out. She did it on my golden birthday at a music festival, so needless to say I was quite inebriated. Right before she did it, we sat on a bench and she asked me, so, how are you feeling? I replied, fucked up. Then she got on one knee, and I started crying. It's 2 years later, and we are still doing the same shenanigans without the proposing and crying. I feel a complete indifference that she was the one to do it. People are almost always shocked when they hear it. Except my dad's family, they're so open and awesome. But honestly, with my semi-apparent commitment issues, I may never have done it in the long run, who knows, so better that she did. What's a golden birthday? Edit, just googled it like a nerd. It means your day falls on the day of your age, like, if it's your 15th day it's on the 15th of the month. I think. I proposed to my girlfriend, now fiancée, the other day, but my friend told me today that if his girlfriend proposed to him, he would say no and then propose to her the next day. Seems kinda stupid when the question's already in the air, but to each their own. Unless he says no in a way that clearly indicates what he intends and subtly gets her approval for it, I can see that going in some very unfortunate directions for him, starting with her being totally heartbroken and maybe not ready to get on board with it's just a prank bro a day later. Not me, but my mom proposed to my dad because she got tired of waiting for him after they'd been going out for almost 10 years. He was casual about it and was like, sure, I'll marry you. My dad was always shy and my mother more direct. They'd known each other since they were 15, so they'd been together for so long they kinda forgot about marriage. They've been married for 30 years now and still going strong. My husband and I are a younger version of your parents. He's shy and withdrawn, and I'm loud and outgoing. I asked him to marry me after 6 years of dating, from 13 over 14, and he was very quiet a moment, long enough for me to get worried, because he likes to think everything through. When he finally answered, it was just this quiet, deliberate okay. From the outside I know it doesn't sound whirlwind romantic novel, but it makes me smile ear to ear at the memory. We are celebrating our 11th anniversary in October, and we are still so in love with one another that it's actually kinda embarrassing. Not exactly a proposal, but my ex wanted to elope. I said no, not because I wouldn't have married her in a heartbeat, but partly because I would want my family there for it, and because I knew that her parents would disown her, and it would hurt everyone in the process. No matter how open-minded Indian families are, their world would shatter. I keep thinking how I might have answered her differently. Perhaps it could have saved the relationship. My response might have just fueled her insecurities. In fact, it's weird that this question came up today on my feed, because I was thinking about it today. I have traveled the same path my friend. I'm a Hindu Indian, and she was a Muslim. She has been my best friend and most trusted person since I met her. But family and religion and egos get in the way. Being disowned, shamed, talked about is the fear that truly stops us from finding ourselves and our life partners. Keep your head up. Your story may not be done yet. By the way, I said F it and married said woman. Hey, it's December 26th. We only have 5 days left in the year to get married and have it count toward our taxes. We should do that. Okay. I was fine. At that point we'd had a kid together since the previous September and had been together for almost 10 years. Marriage was a tax convenience for us, less than an everlasting bond between passionate lovers. I love her all the same though. We just never put any sentimental importance into marriage. I suppose her real proposal was the November before our daughter was conceived, where she said we should make one of those. After I texted her a picture of my 5-month-old niece at the time, and my heart basically jumped out of my chest. So I was very excited and happy. It was a confusing set of emotions. We had been together for a while, and I knew I was ready. When she decided she was ready, she thought it was silly to hint around that it was time for me to get a ring and propose to her. Instead, she thought one of us ought to be surprised. She proposed to me in one of my favorite places and then gave me a ring to put on her finger. In the days after, I did a lot of thinking, wondering if it was a little emasculating. She already makes a lot more money than I do, and sometimes it feels like we have reversed traditional gender roles. Ultimately, I came to the satisfactory personal conclusion that there was no need for a conventional proposal, and all that mattered is that we are happy. As an added bonus, where I had been ready for so long before she did, having her propose removed any doubt in my mind that she wanted it. If I had proposed, I may have always wondered if she agreed, even if it wasn't quite the right time, just to spare my feelings. Now, there is no uncertainty. We took our unconventionality to the next level this summer when we very secretly eloped. Imagine our family's surprise to learn that A, we were married, and B, we had secretly flown from Canada to New Zealand and gotten married atop a mountain. It's our relationship, and we want to do what makes us happy. My GF walked up behind me while I was cooking, hugged me, and said, "What would you say if I asked you to marry me?" I said I'd probably say yes. We've been married 22 years and I'm still waiting for her to actually propose. You need to start hinting. Openly look at engagement rings and wedding dresses. Leave web pages open with most romantic places to be proposed to at the front. Turn other engagements to your advantage. Mask your engagement desire with celebrity commentary. Hint through the grapevine. Have her plan a romantic getaway. Wear your prettiest dresses to dinner. Women have a hard time with subtle hints, but if you combine methods you can get her to propose. Remember, De Beers recommends a ring at least worth 3 months of pay, so don't let her get away with cubic zirconia. I pretty much just quoted various Cosmo-esque websites for that. I was made the happiest man that day, twice. Long story if you are interested. It was the day of my final exam of my 3-year apprenticeship. She took the day off and was more nervous than me when we had coffee together. I was sure she was nervous for the same reason as I was and didn't pay much attention as my mind was occupied by the exam. 2 hours later, I passed the exam and we were standing outside with a colleague having a smoke and talking and another cigarette. I was just so relieved and felt light as air and happy to not have a single thing on my mind. Then I did it. My girlfriend though was shuffling her feet, not really taking part in the conversation. After what must have been hours for her, she asked what I wanted to do. Going downtown, shopping, or grab something to eat. I didn't care at all. She drove to the record store first. We walked to the window to have a look at the record players as we were thinking about getting a new one. "How do you like that one?" she asked, pointing at one in the back. There was a sign next to it with my name on it, and bright as I said, "It has my name on it." What else? It had "Let's Face the Music and Dance" written on it. I just stared blank at it and then at her, having not the foggiest. She said, "Now that you are a technician, I wanted to ask you if you also want to be my man." I said I would love to. Hugs and kisses. When I looked at the player again, I noticed 3 of the staff standing behind it, smiling and cheering with a bottle of champagne and glasses. It was a 11 out of 10 day.